Bruins Beat is brought to you by PrizePicks and the GameTime app.
And welcome into the Bruins Beat, presented by PrizePicks. Go use that promo code CLNS to get $50 back when you play just $5. And are presented by GameTime. Go use that promo code CLNS to get $20 off that first purchase. Terms apply. I am Evan Marinofsky. That is Conor Ryan. Connor, what is up?
Evan, doing well. How you doing?
Doing great. The Christmas cheer is here. I must say, I was thinking as I was talking about PrizePicks and GameTime. I think if you guys have no gift ideas, if it's the 23rd, we're recording this, so you'll hear this either the 23rd or 24th, and you have no gift ideas, just put our promo code in a little box under the tree and give it to someone who maybe doesn't listen to Bruins Beat or Poke the Bear, unfortunately. And that can be their gift. Hey, you want $50 back when you play $5 at PrizePicks? Boom! Boom!
Exactly.
Or GameTime? There you go. I think that works great.
I was thinking, like, how great would it be if you just, like, you check your stock and you got, like, people put, like, the little Reese's cups, like, in the little candy cane, like, the little miniature. You have those things. Get those out of the way. Like, you don't want those in the stocking stuff. Get to the very bottom, though, and you're like, what's this little piece of paper? What'd you give me? And all it is just a printed out URL, and it leads directly to all of our great content on YouTube. Not like you have to like type it out, like you have to the HTTP shit. Yeah, and of course YouTube's like gives you the most fucked up like Wi-Fi password like URL. It's like WZBFXS. Like
it's like a radio station in like Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think you just print that out on a piece of paper. Be like, what is it? What is this? And be like, take the time, take the 5 to 10, 20 minutes, type that into a toolbar, see where it takes you, and leads right to our great stuff on YouTube. I think that'd be the best Christmas gift of all.
Yeah, maybe it's a stocking stuffer. You're right. I think that's more of a stocking stuffer. I don't know if we're quite at full bore present yet under the tree, but we're close.
I think it's better than a present. I think there's some stuff you get a stocking that's better than a gift, to be honest with you, especially if it's a printed out piece of paper with a URL on it.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, like the best thing...
I feel like I'd be getting like extorted if I got like a piece of paper with a URL to type in. Like, what Russian website am I going to right now?
Yeah, what virus are you giving me? I'll never forget though. When I was little, I think I graduated from 5th grade. Can you believe? I think people listen probably don't think that I graduated from 5th grade, but I did in fact graduate from 5th grade. And this was like 2010, so it was right around when cell phone 2020 was last year, when like cell phones were getting big, and I got a little box, and it was just a printed out Verizon logo, and they were like, "We'll go get you a phone," and I was like, "Yes!" And I think back, boom, exactly. And I think back, and I'm like, nowadays a kid would be like, "Where I want the phone right now." And granted, I'm the same way. I would want the phone immediately.
We're all Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka.
We are Veruca's top 10 like worst people in a movie.
Yes.
And she's not 9, 10, or she's not 2 through 10. But it is Christmas time. We're recording this 23rd, so it'll be a little bit of a looser episode. Bruins do play. They play the Caps Monday night, so we're recording before that. You can enjoy that as sort of a Christmas.
Why didn't you guys record the next day on Christmas Eve?
We're not frontline workers. We're unfortunately we're softies. We're softies. Bruins get a win over Buffalo on Saturday by the skin of their teeth. I fully. Someone asked me. One of my roommates asked me, "Should I take the Bruins on Saturday night?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like Sabres 12-game losing streak going in, like could easily have seen it. Maybe we're just pessimists, but Bruins pull it out. Geeky scores the eventual winner after getting it taken off the board. I think the last, the West Coast trip where they went 2-2-1, they beat the Sabres 3-1 at home. I don't know. Like, I think this team hasn't really changed its trajectory much. I think it's a playoff team for sure. I think Puckpedia has them at like 80% to make the playoffs. And
I saw that.
Someone tweeted at us and Ty and was like, does this make sense? And I get why people would think like this doesn't make any sense. It kind of does. Like the rest of the division stinks. A lot of teams are faltering. There's a lot of mid, and the Bruins are right in it. And I don't know, they're a playoff team, but I don't feel that they're anything more than that at the moment.
Yeah, no, and I don't think anything changes off of that game on Saturday. That was not the most riveting 60 minutes of hockey. I would say. There was a lot of that game where I was like, "Wow, this sucks." I feel bad for you who went to this game because there was a lot of low event hockey. Sabres like had multiple times where they just like whiffed on passes, couldn't connect on anything in the offensive zone. The Bruins were kind of the same way, not really challenging James Reimer, who like got beat clean like twice by Geeky from far range. Like it's like honestly, it's like he was kind of like Corpusalo. It's like honestly, just fire everything from like the blue line or like the high slot, and you might have a chance of beating him. If you have Corpusalo in grade A ice, you're not beating him. Like dude's got an insane high danger save percentage this year, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you're going to take from that game. Wasn't their best. Like they mentioned, coming back from the West Coast, that quick turnaround that can kind of take away some of your legs, which just felt like they didn't have their legs really in that game at all. Was very concerning, right? Because I think you look at them coming back from that trip, and I kind of focused on the positives during my last Poke the Bear of like even that game against Oilers. It sucks you only get out of that with a point, but we're really competitive, really locked down Edmonton for a lot of that game. That I took the glass half full approach, and then like if they tie, what have you, they lose to that Buffalo team on a 12-game losing streak, that would not be great. This is a time of the year, especially where you got Buffalo, you got two tough matchups against Washington, kind of sandwiched in there, but you also have a back-to-back with Columbus. Like this is another stretch here before you get to the middle of January where things really start ramping up, where you got to start piling on points. So. Good for the Bruins to take care of business, get the 2 points. And it's funny that we're already kind of looking at standings watch and all those things now. But after a stretch where the Bruins were winning games, but I felt like everyone else in the division were also winning as well. They had to get a little bit of a break on Sunday. Tampa played Florida. They lost. So that's a team that's probably on your heels. I think they're still back behind the Bruins now. So Bruins are back in third place in the Atlantic. And Ottawa finally lost after 6 games. They lost to Edmonton. Linus Ullmark left in the first period with an upper body injury, so you hope that's not anything long-term for him, because he has been the main reason why they've won 6 in a row. He's been unbelievable. So you look at, I think that's also an important thing, right? The Bruins are in it, and as you said, with the 80% playoff percentage, whatever they're tabbing, a lot of it has to do with the fact that even though the Bruins have been kind of mid for the whole year, no one's really run away from the division. I think the Bruins are only 4 points behind Toronto for second place.
Yeah.
And other than Tampa, who still is, again, I don't know why they've played so few games, and that's a team worth watching in terms of them leapfrogging you. Like the Bruins, as much as they've played a ton of games, they're only I think 1 game in hand on Toronto, maybe 1 or 2 in hand against Ottawa and Florida. So they're all kind of caught up to where they are now.
They are. Yeah.
Other than Tampa, which they could go on a run, and they've been playing really good hockey before that game against Florida, the Bruins are kind of right in the thick of things, which if, what you're seeing now from the Bruins, which is what they've been under Sacco, where it's not a finished product. It's a lot of maybe ugly hockey stretches. They still try to find their footing. At the very least, they're still in the mix. And it's also helped that the Metro, they've been really top heavy with like the Devils, the Capitals.
Which to me still is stunning.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this at all.
Yeah. I couldn't see that going. But between the Metro, between them, Devils, and Hurricanes, the rest of the Metro kind of sucks. So they've also, Bruins, been helped out by the fact there's no Ranges or anyone else, Penguins, that are really pushing them in the wild card either. It kind of feels like it's just those 5 teams in the Atlantic that maybe are going to be trading places a lot. But for right now, at least, feels like those are the teams that are realistically going to be in the mix when it comes to playoff contention.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is the closest team that isn't in the wild card, and they're 3 points behind Ottawa for that second wild card spot.
Yeah,
so
that team is still broken. Like
awful.
I don't care if they're playing a little bit better. Like that goaltending sucks.
Awful. And again, an old lineup. And I think, you look at like the Rangers, and I do wonder if the Rangers ever do find it. But judging from Rangers Twitter, like that team is in free fall. So I also don't have a huge faith that they will do that. I also don't watch the Rangers nearly as much as I watch a team like obviously the Bruins, which I would hope that I would watch because good Lord. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting look. You're right about the teams kind of all being near each other in games played now. Florida and Boston, same games played. Tampa really randomly has the 31. So they're in it. And I think, if they continue on this, the way they've been playing, which is a little bit inconsistent at times, beating the bad teams, kind of mixed results against the good ones, at this rate, like you should be in the playoffs. And that's why I think when we get to the big question of what should the Bruins ask for Christmas, I doubt that they're going to be looking to add picks. I just don't see it because they're in it. And when they're in it, they go fully in it. Buffalo, by the way, oh boy. Awful team.
Just sad.
Just it's depressing. And what's funny is like Buffalo is an awesome fan market. Like they care up there. It's not like this is, San Jose or Florida. Like this is Buffalo. Like when I was little, the Sabres were in it every year. Thomas Vanek, Drew Stafford, Ryan Miller, some of the teams I think had like Brian Campbell and stuff. And they were like that place would go nuts when they were in the playoffs. And you see Bills Mafia, and like I feel bad. Like I was looking at kind of the projected. I talk about James Higgins all the time. Wouldn't it be a shame if James Higgins got stuck in Buffalo?
It feels like everyone who goes there it's funny how they all end up going somewhere else and immediately take off. Like look how many guys are like from Buffalo that were on the Panthers last year.
Yeah.
Like look at like Reinhart. Reinhart was like a very good top 6 player, and now he's like top 3 winger in the game in terms of just how good of a 200-foot player he is. And also like last year, people were like, oh, he's not going to score 57 goals again. He friggin' might. Like,
he might.
he's been unbelievable.
That contract ended up being really worth it. And I agree. I thought that he was going to, just kind of go back to earth after one great contract year, but he's been phenomenal. But if you want to, take Sam Reinhart more goals, if you like watching the Panthers, you kind of pre-scouting for the Bruins, go to our friends at PrizePicks, because PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks. Again, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on PrizePicks. And I said last week, PrizePicks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join now, because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away two free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. So today is Festivus, the 23rd. Happy Festivus, everybody. Yep. It's Picksmas and it's Christmas. So it's like a perfect storm of holiday cheer. Wow. And again, right now with the Bruins, like Morgan Geeky's going pretty good. Like, I want to take Morgan Geeky more than like 0.5 points in a game. I know a lot of people are like, I would never do that. We're going to get to Geeky in a second. His numbers actually lately have been really good. So maybe Morgan Geeky's a guy. Charlie McAvoy time on ice is always a good one. Marchand's been scoring. Like, I don't think the Bruins are a crazy team to take in PrizePicks or players to do this for. So, again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Run your game on PrizePicks. So Morgan Geeky, we for a long time we were like, I don't know, get him out of the top 6. You need a legit top 6 for him. Maybe you still do. Maybe he is better on that third line. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. But 5 goals, 8 points in December. Feels like he's producing almost every game, and the numbers back that up. He's almost at a point per game pace for December so far. Has worked with Zacha and Pastrnak. Do I think he's the long-term solution? No, but I think he is raising that, if you want to say trade value up, although I don't think they're trading him right now. And I think he might be raising that contract value up at the end of the year. But at the very least, you're getting something from him, which I think is the most important thing for this Bruins team right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could still make the argument as to whether he should be a top line player on this team, but I think he's doing what the Bruins are expecting out of a player that's in a spot with, David Pastrnak, right? Like, it doesn't like, you look at what Pastrnak has done over the years with Zacha, with Eric Holla. Like, if you put someone who has a skill set that they can utilize in a top 6 role, like Geeky's got a pretty underrated shot, right? He's kind of more of a straight line physical player than maybe we all expected. I think he had 6 hits on Saturday against Buffalo. And that's something that Joe Sacco mentioned after the game, is that beyond like his shot, which he obviously was put on display in that game, Geeky's been really good at getting to the net front, creating space for Zacha and Pastrnak, doing some of the dirty work that you kind of need on a line like that. So, yeah, for right now, he's kind of the latest amongst those group of guys like Zacha, Pasternak, what have you, that have taken steps forward. And again, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're expecting a 25 goal season from Pavel Zacha or anything like that, but it's just the latest guy that you look at how much this entire team was snake bit to start the year, right? With so many guys. I think Geeky had 2 goals in his first 22 games, was scratched a couple of times,
I
was
was
kind
going
of
to
in no
say
man's land.
he had 5 points in his first 2 months.
Yeah, so like you had so many guys that were, again, like you shouldn't expect them to be like, if they all had breakout years last year, and I think Geeky's one of those guys that fell into that category, I don't think people were expecting them to take another huge step forward of like, well, if he's going to score 39 points, why can't he be a 60-point guy? It's like, all right, you shouldn't like put those expectations, but he's still, I think that's kind of been the trend, right? When we look at this offense and the ability of this team to be a somewhat effective scoring team, like, they're not going to be top 15 probably in the league, right? Like they're still like short, probably a top 6 forward or 2. But man, they are better than what they showed the first 2 months. There were so many guys that were so snake bit. And so I do think that, Geeky, is he like the ideal top line player for this team? No, but I think you're seeing what they expected out of him and expected out of that top line, where if you have guys like Pasternak in spots where they can create plays and, help out their line mates, you're able to get, more production out of someone like Geeky. And it is kind of funny how you look at that game. I thought that was one of Pasternak's like worst games in a while. Like I thought he had a really, really rough game. Was offside, take away Geeky's first goal.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And what do you know? Like he's still the only guy I think that had 2 points in that win. So he still piles on points even when I kind of had a game to forget, all things considered.
Well, I think Geeky is the great embodiment of what we talked about a lot in October, November, was like, this team isn't this bad. Like the results you're seeing, like there are some issues with the roster, but they aren't this bad. And at some point they are going to revert up to where they should be. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that with Pasternak, you're seeing it with Zacha, Marchand, Geeky. You're seeing the team revert to being, more of what it can be. And I think, unburdened by what has been the first 2 months.
Yes.
So to me, like, yeah, of course, Mr. Vice President, Madam Vice President. But I didn't know whether to refer to myself as the Vice President saying it or Kamala Harris who said it. So I didn't know who to refer to. But I honestly, like, they're reverting back to where they should be. Also, an interesting thing going into the game against Buffalo, Charlie Coyle up on the wing. I feel like that hasn't happened in a very long time. That was something they used to try out back in like the David Krejci days, like pre-COVID. But they put him up there, scores a goal coming out of the box. Nice play by Zadorov to get the puck up to him. I wonder if Coyle going up there leaves a little bit of room for Matt Patra to eventually come up and be the third line center. You saw Frederick centering that line the other night. Frederick's been inconsistent all year. I wonder if Coyle works on the wing and is playing with guys who, he can produce with, because Coyle has like a fair amount of goals. What does Coyle have, like 10 goals, I think, this year? But he has like
he's
2
like
assists.
10 goals and like 2 assists. It's something like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
So again, like
he's got a stat line like that, and then you've got Pasternak with like a Joe Thornton stat line, where he's gonna have like 18 goals and like 101 assists or something like that.
Yeah. Pasternak 12 goals, 23 assists.
Cole's got an Ovechkin stat line.
Yeah, Cole's got Chris Kreider.
Yes, exactly.
8 goals, 2 assists. That is incredible to have only 2 assists. Like, just playing the game of hockey, you can rack up, secondary assists, and you don't even realize you get an assist. 2 assists in 35 games says a lot about some of the guys around him. So yeah, I wonder though if Matt Patra, if they're envisioning Patra eventually coming up and being that third line center.
Yeah, I think you look at, they used Coyle on the wing late in that game against Calgary with Marchand and Lindholm, and I think you can see kind of the appeal of that if it's kind of your shutdown top 6 line, right? That can score, can really take on tough matchups and hold their own there. And I think there's a lot of appeal to that. I still think Coyle's better down the middle, but I think you look at just how disjointed this forward core is. I don't think it can hurt if it puts Coyle in a spot where he can start producing a little bit more, feeling more confident about his game. I think he can complement 2 solid, two-way players in Marchand and Lindholm. And yeah, like it does create an opening. And I think that's part of the appeal of you put Patra down there. And whether it's, him with Frederick and Brazeau, or you change things around, I still am like tempted to see what would happen if you put Patra with like Zaka and Pasternak just to see
I
if
would
you can
love
get
that.
him rolling.
Yes.
It would be a lot more fun because right now, like, I mean, it's unfortunate because I thought like Wallstrom had a good game against the Oilers, but like that third line with Brazeau, Frederick, and Wallstrom didn't really do much of anything in the game on Saturday. It's like, you know, I would like to see Patra, you know, somewhere in the lineup down the road, right? Like, I don't know whether it's going to be before the break or you know, before the new year, what have you. He's still continuing to play really well in Providence, but when he does come back, and it feels all but inevitable, right? Very curious to see where he slots in, because I think the most likely thing is that third line. But man, I would like to see him in a spot where you put him in the lineup, and hell, if he's on his game, he can get you 2 assists right out of the gate, right? I'd like to see him get rolling, see what you can do. Like, his skill set is something that ideally should elevate his line mates, and so is he going to elevate Frederick and Brazeau, or could he elevate a guy like Pasternak, who's been kind of fighting a little bit in terms of scoring goals, and Zaka, and it pushes other guys down the lineup as well. I think I guess it's a good problem to have if you're the Bruins, even though I still feel like you're going to see him in the third line role once he does come back.
You also wonder with him, like, you're coming from Providence where you're playing in every situation, you're doing everything, you're the main guy, to kind of keep. One issue I think they have with bringing him up is like they don't want to kind of crush that confidence with like, oh, we're going to bring you up and it's going to be much tougher. If you put him with better players, yeah, you're going to have harder matchups, but you're also just going to be with better players. Like, I think you're going to be with guys, you mentioned Zaka and Pasternak, who are better suited for guys like Matt Patra, who have skill and great vision and all that stuff. So I do wonder about that. Coyle, it's funny, going into the year, we mentioned him as like sort of a shutdown center. The numbers haven't backed that up. He's not been the shutdown guy they've needed down the middle. So again, if he's better suited on the wing now, like, I think you kind of have to go with that. And like, I agree, in most years, he is a better center, but this year I do wonder if you're going to get more from him as sort of a shutdown wing. And when the playoffs come around and, you know, you have a Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle line, like, that line should be your shutdown line. They should be able to go up against, you know, Matthew Tkachuk or Austin Matthews and shut those guys down and be able to compete tit for tat. But you want to go to those games, we have our friends over at GameTime. GameTime is focused on togetherness this holiday season, and that means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better, and it's the perfect gift. It's a perfect gift. It's a real gift. You can put it under the tree, tickets, they don't print tickets anymore, but maybe you could do what my parents did and just put like a GameTime logo and be like December 31st, this game. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Again, I love this. I do. I love the flash deals. Living near the Garden, living near Fenway Park. Even if I think if you live within an hour radius, you can get there. Looking at the flash deals. Oh, tickets are pretty cheap tonight. I'm going to go. I think it's a really cool thing, and GameTime has that, and you can see the seat views, which is the best part. We love that. All-in pricing, so you're not blindsided by how much taxes and fees are when you go to the checkout line.
$500.
Yeah, I thought it's like, what
I'm talking about? I'm going to see the Wiggles. Why is this much money?
That's right. The Wiggles tickets are killing me these days.
Killing me.
I have no money left. Until I found GameTime. Then GameTime hooked me up with Wiggles tickets all the time. Flash deals at Wiggles concerts are just going off the charts right now.
Unreal.
Oh, I
didn't
hope
even get any fruit salad. There's too many taxes kicking me in. It's awful.
Captain Feathersword's out there, you know, just killing me with the sword. Oh, but lowest price guarantee also, or GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. So, if you want to go to the Wiggles, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it, Connor?
Game time.
It's game time. It's
Fruit
game time.
Salad. Yep. Okay.
Yummy banger. What a banger that was.
Boom.
Holy crap. Yeah, that's 5 booms on the boom meter.
Yes.
Nowadays it'd be like viral on everything. It just the Wiggles, man.
They still are.
Elite characters. Elite, like,
Yes.
the 4 main guys, and you had like the elite side characters. Oh, had everything for that show. By the way, they are still going. I looked this up the other day. They are still cooking.
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to buy tickets, Evan.
Trying to go. But credit to them for like they're still making tons of money off this. Like they've been going since like the 90s. I mean, that's like 30 years now. I think some of the original members are not there anymore. But I think like one or two of them are. But they're still cooking. Like, good for them, man. The fruit salad's still going, still fresh. So props to them. It's Christmas time, Connor. So we asked the question, what should the Bruins ask for from Santa? What should Santa bring the Bruins this year? There's a lot of things you can go for here.
Yeah.
A lot of answers. I will say, it does seem like Santa gave the Bruins an early gift with a head coach. It's like Joe Sacco's doing well. There's nothing so far has made me think that he will not be the full-time head coach at the end of the year. So like I filed Joe Sacco under like, that's an early Christmas present. That's like, when you broke your hockey stick in like October and dad was like, this is an early gift. Damn it. By the way, speaking of parents, did you see the Bleacher Report tweeted this out? Did you see the father and son fighting in a men's league hockey game up in Saskatchewan? Did you see that?
That's not no
psychotic
that's not surprising at all.
Shit. Bleacher Report posted like, oh my god, hockey's incredible. This is that. It's like, no man, like a father and son
pretty bad.
like throwing haymakers at each other in a men's league game is the most like toxic, unhealthy shit you could put together. Like, how is that anything but weird?
Yes.
It's like Sarah Palin weighing in and being like, I love Matt Rempe.
Right?
What?
That dude's a fucking bum.
Oh,
that dude
bum.
Sucks. I think I saw a push alert. I forget who it was from, so I won't, I guess, call it whoever it was. But it was like Rempe like suspended 8 games, and it was like Rangers stat. And I was like, give me a fucking break. That dude's not a
terrible. You know what's funny? Like, obviously, you try to never disrespect a player personally. You never try to say anything bad about them, or you try to keep it on the ice. You never call them like kind of full, adjectives that are mean or think like, oh, this guy's trash, this guy sucks. Like, we never do that, right? But I look at it like Matt Rempe has no respect for hockey. Going in and doing what he does and having no skill, no reason you're out there. I get really angry when people just pick guys because they're big, but they're freaking lugs. And he has no respect for the game, so I'm not going to have respect for him. He's useless. Useless player.
Try to take out Heiskanen, like, give me a break. An actual skilled player.
Sucks. I thought we were past, and I love people saying, oh, it's this, hockey's getting soft. No, hockey's getting more skilled, and it's a smarter game. And there's no room. Like, I saw a clip the other day of, like, the Philadelphia Flyers in the playoffs, like, in 2012, and they had, like, Aaron Asham on their fourth line in a playoff game, like, all these different, like, goons. And it's like, that doesn't happen now because you strategically use a fourth line that can actually do things. Matt Rempe is useless. Just completely useless.
Also, respectfully, I can also name quite a few goons, enforcers, whatever you want to call, back in that day that could skate and can like finish plays in tight. Can do something
Greg
beyond.
Campbell, Sean Thornton, those guys could do it.
We know a lot of guys that what they're known for on the ice, but they can do some other things that come with a job, as opposed to putting an actual skilled top pairing defenseman's face into the glass.
Terrible.
So
just so dumb. So dumb. We got
Matt Rempe's getting cold for Christmas. It's getting cold, damn it.
I give him a doom
for Matt Rempe. Yes,
that's right. He's getting cold. He's getting cold for Christmas. But what should the Bruins ask for Christmas? We got off the Joe Sacco thing. We got way off.
We don't care about Joe. We're talking about Matt Rempe.
Matt Rempe. Yeah. What do you think? What should they ask for?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be tempted to say like a 15 to 20 goal scorer. I don't know how realistic that is. That should have been done probably in the offseason. I still look at the guy, I know I keep on talking about him, but like Anthony Duclair, has got 4 points in 6 games now that he's back and healthy with the Islanders. That's already a team that cannot score. But again, someone like that was affordable, that has speed, can give you 15, 20 goals. That would make, like a world of a difference on this team, right? Just having one more guy like that. And that's as close as I think you could get to replacing a guy like DeBrusk in the aggregate, right? Of like, maybe not the same ceiling, but good skater, can be effective on the forecheck, alas. So I don't want to ask for a top 6 forward if it means you trading, more picks or something down the road. So I'm going to ask for the 2024 playoff edition of Jeremy Swayman. You need someone you need that kind of Swayman back because
smart.
Again, you look at just how how tough it is for this team, the margin of error this team has this year, given their struggles with scoring. Man, how different would this team be if Stroman didn't have a minus 12.5 goals saved above expected? Like, we're not asking even for 2024 playoffs, Swayman. 933 save percentage. What do you have, like 14, 15 goals saved above expected? If we had league average Jeremy Swayman, where you take those minus 12, almost 13 goals off the board, how many more wins does this team have? And I get that, like, some of those were also the byproduct of being in some blowouts, but even like in a blowout game, it usually equates to like 3-ish goals added to that tab, right? Like, look at that Winnipeg game. There's a few of those goals that he couldn't do much on, but there was like 2 or 3. You're like, ugh, you need that as well. So you get to that minus 12.5 off of multiple games with like one back-breaking goal or one goal you'd like to have back. And yeah, who knows how different this team would be if he was just back to that level. So maybe I should just ask for league average Jeremy Swayman, or the Jeremy Swayman we've seen in the past, because I think that would make a world of a difference. You look at, I think, how good this team is playing defensively since Sacco's taken over. That's all well and good, but if your goalie's not playing at his level and what we've seen him do before, that's going to be the one critical flaw, I think, for this team. And until Swayman defines his game, the ceiling of this team is going to be limited. Because if you are going to go on a run, you're going to need Swayman to be the guy kind of carrying you through a big chunk of it.
Yeah, but you know what? It is Christmas. You got to ask for the big stuff. So you ask for Jeremy Swayman from the 2024 playoffs. Yeah, you don't.
I want Leon Draisaitl.
Store brand. Yeah, I want Leon Draisaitl under the Christmas tree this year. Red Sox actually just went out and got themselves a Christmas gift.
Walker
Buehler. Oh, cool. Nice. Sounds good.
Pretty good pitcher. His like elbow might be like Linguini, but it's fine.
Hey, he's gonna be on the shelf the whole year. But if he actually is like, OG Walker Buehler, Red Sox got a real pitcher there. So good for them.
Those 1-year deals that are like really expensive always stress me out though, because like he's either gonna be ass or he's gonna be like filthy, and by the end of April, I'm gonna be like, shit, why didn't they sign him longer? He's gonna have he's gonna be 4-0 with like a 1.12 ERA. Like, shit.
Discussing like long-term expense.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the arm turns to Linguini. Then
exactly.
It's gone. Then it's gone. That's a pixie stick. I think the Bruins should ask for. I'm actually not. I could do like David Pastrnak, shoot the puck better, or go out and you mentioned, and you mentioned going out and getting a top 6 winger, which they need. I'll go a little off the board. I'm going to ask them to not do something. Don't trade your first round pick this year. Please don't. I don't think they're going to be in the market of trading Frederick for picks. I think they are going to try to get a player back. I think if they do that trade, which it feels like they are going to probably at least try to do that, feels like that's the way the winds are blowing. But don't trade that first round pick. You don't need to. It's okay if you're going to trade Frederick and get a roster player back who you have some control over. Great, that's awesome. Just please don't trade that first round pick. I guess the only way I would be okay with them trading a first is if it's sort of like a Hampus Lindholm type deal where you get a guy who you have for a long time. Like there were those BS Dylan Larkin rumors or that came around like a month ago. If somehow you could swing like Dylan Larkin and have him here like long term, okay, like that's not bad. But don't trade under almost no circumstances. Do not trade that first round pick. So
yes,
that'd be what I ask for them for Christmas. So nothing major. Past years it was like
socks.
Taylor Hall.
Yeah, just want socks.
Give me socks.
Socks and money.
Punt on Christmas this year, which kind of means punt on the deadline, but try to do something impactful, but don't trade that first round pick. Any big Christmas plans for you?
Nothing much, man. Hanging out at home. Home is like the home base for everyone else, so should be a good time. Nice low key, nothing too crazy. Put on Die Hard, play the hits. You know what we do.
I've still never seen Die Hard.
That's Jesus Christ, dude.
Isn't that incredible? What is that even on now? Where's that streaming? I'll watch it. Where's it streaming? That's the big question.
I mean, even if it's not on one of those streaming things, which I feel like it would be, it's probably on like TNT. Like they probably play it for the
is,
but it's also not as good. Like you have to watch it like without it. Like they put it on cable and they cut it all the swears. But it's also one of those ones where they don't like bleep it or they don't like just mute it. They like have someone who kind of sounds like Bruce Willis say something instead, so it just sounds awful. Like, what the fudge is going on here? It's like
Cable movies I
that's
can't
what we
do.
would say if West Germans hijacked an office building in LA. That's what I would say. What the fudge?
What the fudge? Yeah, exactly. What the fudge? It's
He was
on
at a
Disney
Christmas
Plus,
party,
which I don't
so
have.
damn. It's a classic Disney movie, Die Hard.
Yeah, exactly, right? I will say this. So, speaking of like commercials and movies, I know you have to go, so we'll wrap this up quick. But my girlfriend has Hulu, but it has ads. So, like, I was watching Dead Poet Society. I've seen it before, but I was watching it the other night, and it's a really like deep movie. You get really into it. I love it. It's one of my like most rewatchable movies.
That's an Ozempic ad.
Exactly. And it's like it'll be like, Robin Williams is giving this incredible, like monologue, and midway through it's like, do you or a loved one have like moderate to severe plaque psoriasis? And it's like, fucking come on, like this sucks, and this is why you pay a lot more extra. And credit to Hulu for making more money. I mean, I hate them. Like, don't always go for money, but they clearly have figured out a way to make more money, which is, you can do it with commercials, but like you're gonna hate it. And I do hate it. So, the ads and movies, I can't. It breaks it up. Like Dead Poet Society is a movie you should be like kind of in tears at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But with the ads, like I feel like if they put ads like it in It's a Wonderful Life, I wouldn't be like teary eyed and crying at the end. It would just be like, oh, nah, it's a good movie, but like the ads
at the end
ruined it.
At the end, George Bailey opens the letter, and before he reads it, it just cuts to the Wiggles, like a Wiggles ad. Like, now playing at the Leader Bank Pavilion.
He reads our Game Time promo.
I like how my guy announcing the Wiggles sounds exactly like Jimmy Stewart, like George Bailey. It's like the imagine George Bailey going to see the Wiggles. Wow.
Golly gee. I don't want to live anymore.
I suddenly have a craving for fruit salad.
he's like now I wish I was born. I'm happy I'm born. Seeing
now he sounds like Bane. Now he sounds like Bane.
He does, yeah. That Bane if he was from like 1930.
Yes, exactly. Prohibition era Bane.
That's right. Well, Connor, Merry Christmas. Welcome to people look forward to from you. Maybe a Boston Globe subscription for Christmas.
That'd be a great idea, Evan. Yes, you can read all my stuff over at boston.com and the Boston Globe. Have we covered every step of the way this Bruins season with recaps, features, columns, breakdowns, all that good stuff. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at Conor Ryan _93.
Go do all that. That's Conor Ryan. I'm Evan Marinofsky. Bruins Beat listeners, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and most importantly, a great rest of your week.